Hey, New Pax Romana here, everybody. I've got a little knife review that I'd like to do today. It's on a knife by Spyderco, actually, if you couldn't guess by the box. That's right. It's not an actual Spyderco in-house design per se, but it was done by, I believe, a man named Centofante, Frank Centofante. And it's a little spin-off, actually, of the Centofante 3, if you will. Same blade style and whatnot. You can see there. I don't know if this was one of their older boxes, um, before they went to the new box, or what the deal on this is. But anyways, here it is. It is the Spyderco Vesuvius. Yes, Spyderco Vesuvius. I believe this is in fact FRN handle, but it's got a, how do you pronounce it, paua inlay, as they call it, which is some sort of seashell, and what they do here is they'll layer, I believe it's anywhere from like 5 to 9 seashells on top of each other, and then they probably do some sort of treatment on it to get it that nice sheen, so to speak. And then, of course, there's the FRN handles. No texturing on it, though. It's completely flat. And you'll see here, it's got a slightly smaller Spyderco thumb stud, thumb hole than usual. But anyways, you can see, opens up very smooth. And there you have it. It's just the standard, well, I shouldn't say standard, but it's just the same thing as the Centofante blade. When I actually bought this, I tried looking up a few things on it, but I couldn't find anything on YouTube, so I figured I'd do my own little video on it. And let's see if we can get a close-up of that. No, autofocus doesn't want to work. But it's Vesuvius, that it says right there, and it's ATS 34 steel, which I believe is a pretty good steel. I'm not too sure. And then, yeah, you got the Spyderco thing right there. And then on the back, you can see, or maybe not, I don't know, Colorado, USA. Golden, actually, Golden, USA, Colorado. It's got tip up or tip down, right side only carry. And, this particular model has parts serrated. You know, if I could have chosen, I would have gotten the plain edge, but this is like, apparently they don't produce this anymore, and this was the only one. I was actually in a knife shop looking for a little Christmas gift for myself, and you know what, this one just caught my eye. I saw it with the rest of the Spydercos, and I figured, you know, this isn't your standard Delica exactly. I believe this is the same shape, overall shape, as the Centofante shape was. Just as I said, no texturing on it. And you'll notice it is in fact an open frame design. You can see right through it. And interestingly enough, you'll see there, you can see this clip. It is not in fact, because I know some of the Centofantes were some of the first Spydercos to have the, what do you call it, compression clip. This is in fact a liner lock, though, and I don't know what you would call it. Not exactly a reverse liner lock, but it's not a liner lock on the inside there. The liner lock is here on the top, which I'll admit, you know, that is pretty neat. I mean, if you're holding the knife and then you want to close it, you know, you can just push over on that and close the knife. However, you know what? It's not like that standard humped Spyderco design where you can really dig in. It does still have the jimping on it there. It's just, you can see it comes to more of a more shallow edged point as opposed to the steeper rounded hump of a standard Spyderco, at least the in-house Spyderco designs. And it does in fact have jimping. I mean, it's got a fairly long stretch here of jimping on the blade itself, on the tang itself, and that does, you know what, I'll admit, while it's not, for example, while it's not exactly, this is my parts serrated Delica 4 here, while it's not exactly, you know, something you can really dig your thumb into, I will admit, it does still, the jimping is still pretty deep, pretty sharp, and it'll still get you. Actually, I have to admit, they also jimped, slightly jimped the liner lock, it would have worked out nicely because they don't have any kind of choiling or any kind of, choil at all, actually, down here on the bottom. It would have been nice if a liner lock was down on the bottom. That would have given you something to put your finger on, but whatever. Truthfully, this isn't the kind of knife that you would really want to carry around with you anyway. I mean, yes, the Centofante, for example, that's a great carry knife. I personally like that one a lot, especially the plain edge one. It's got a lot of belly to it and everything. Of course, this is the same blade as a Centofante. Like I said, the Vesuvius is basically a Centofante with a untextured handle and the Paua shell inlays. But not to get too off topic here, it's really more of a collector's knife, I guess you could say. I heard when I was actually in the shop, they told me, the clerk behind the counter told me that they stopped producing these and that these are, in fact, rather collectible. And, well, most Spydercos are, in fact, collectible. I mean, let's face it, they only go into, different Spyderco models only go into production a couple years or so. I mean, Spyderco's famous for that. Almost all of their knives, at one point or another, are or become collectible. But, anyways, yeah, here I go calling it Centofante 3. Vesuvius, Spyderco Vesuvius, I was just drawn to it. I think, personally, it is just a very attractive blade overall. It's got a very nice overall curve to it, sweep to it. I love how they did that double bevel, so to speak, or, double hollow grind on it, where you got the flat and then, hollow grind down to the bottom there. And then I just love that little swedge. Some guys will complain about that. I've known others to complain about that, but you know what? I personally like it. I think it's very nice. So, anyways, it takes a nice edge. It was razor sharp when I got it. I haven't actually used it much. Again, going back to the collectability of it, so to speak. Of course, Spyderco clip is, in fact, very strong, very strong. And again, you know what? If you wanted to, or if I wanted to, use this as a carrier, I definitely could. Now, maybe not per se a tactical, but definitely an EDC. Now, I mean, I could if I wanted to, but again, these Spyderco knives are nice. Truthfully, I hate, because anything that's over like $30 for a knife, I love to just keep them nice and pristine and in box, so to speak. I mean, heck, even the Delica 4, which is just made to be a beater. I don't know, something about it just doesn't feel right. I'm too much of a wuss when it comes to really beating up my knives. But, anyways, from our friends at Golden, Colorado. And, of course, like I said, parts serrated. I didn't want that, but what are you going to do? Beggars can't be choosers, right? So, anyways, like I said, I did not see a lot of reviews on it. In fact, I only saw like 2 videos that had the Centofante 3 in it, and I did not see any on this. So I felt the need to my fellow Spyderco enthusiasts and my fellow knife enthusiasts out there on the internet to give them a little video of it so they could see it for themselves. When I first got it, it actually, the edge, not edge retention as in like how well it will keep its sharpness, but the overall blade, the retention of the lock into the blade was pretty bad. Probably just because this was a little bit loose. And it would just, even now that I tighten it up, you can see it'll come out a little bit. When it was looser, I didn't even have to touch the blade. I could just whip it out all the way, without even touching it. And I guess that's nice. The lockup on it right now, it's great. The lockup on it's good. So it's not that it's loose, because with the lockup and everything, it's very tight. Just not the biggest edge retention. Again, going back to the fact that I don't think Spyderco really meant for this to be used much. It's definitely one of those Spydercos that you're going to want to be more of in your collection, so to speak. Take it out, look at it. Maybe if you're getting dressed up, going out, you want to look snazzy, pull out your Spyderco, open a package, I don't know. And you don't really hear much of a snap when it goes in. And then, of course, when it comes out, the actual sound it makes, not that big, So, yeah, it is definitely a very, very smooth opening knife and everything, which I love. And, yeah, got the shiny pocket clip on. It's got the Spyderco design. I was actually kind of bummed out that they didn't put the little Spyderco symbol, but you can see instead of putting the Spyderco symbol there, they put the Vesuvius and the blade steel type on it. And you'll actually notice, as opposed to most Spydercos, well, no, yeah, the deployment hole, it is in fact a little bit lower down than normal, and if you look, the space between the bottom of the tang of the blade and the deployment hole itself, there's a little bit more space there. Actually, that is because of the top liner lock, because you'll see that little bit right there will go up and then lock into place there, nice and flush, and then the liner lock, it has to go all the way up there to meet the liner lock. So if you're a real heavy Spyderco user, you might be used to it being a little bit higher up there, but not so much that you would be completely alienated from using this blade. You'll pick it up and it'll still be comfortable in hand, and it is comfortable in hand, even for its lack of texturing. It still is comfortable in hand. You could still use it and everything. Like I said, I'm just a wimp. I don't like heavy use on these things. So anyways, that is the Spyderco Vesuvius with the shell inlays, which is, of course, basically just the Centofante 3 with the shell inlays. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it was informative to you. Like I said, I didn't really see anything out on this specific model and make of a knife by Spyderco, and just felt the need to get it out there to all you fellow knife addicts, knife enthusiasts. So, hope you enjoy it.